Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We are going to be talking about Caramel Sunday's Winter Woods. Now, this fragrance I actually purchased last December. So, this has been in my stash for about a year now. And this was a candle that I thoroughly enjoyed last winter. But it's funny, I actually remember at that time, crazy how quickly a year goes by. But I actually remembered thinking, you know what, Katie, let's not burn this one all the way through because you really like it. And this might come back next year, and you may want to do a dedicated review on it in case it comes into one of their later year restocks. And alas, I'm really glad that I had that thought and that I kept this in my collection because not only am I enjoying it right now, but now I am able to actually give you guys a dedicated post burn review on this instead of me just giving you instead of trying to remember what the fragrance smelled like a year later. So let's go ahead and talk about this one. This candle that I'm reviewing for you today is one of their 2-wick. This is about 18 ounces of 100% soy wax. Caramel Sundays is a small business based out of Monroe, Georgia that prides themselves in producing non-toxic home fragrance. They also have some personal body care as well as home cleaning. They have laundry soap, which is fantastic, and also like some household cleaners and stuff like that. But their candles are really what is really kind of their bread and butter, I will say. So this fragrance, Winter Woods, will be available in this 2-wick format that you are looking at right here. Again, this is packaging from December of 2024. This vessel retails for $31.99, but this fragrance is also going to be available in the 4-wick 40-ounce vessel, which goes for $64.99. Both of those prices do include the cost of shipping. So let's go ahead and talk about this fragrance. Top notes are listed as orange, nutmeg, fir needle, and baked apples. Mid notes of birch, clove, cinnamon, and cedarwood. Base note of musk, tonka bean, and vanilla. All right, you guys. So obviously last year I was rather intrigued by this fragrance. And I think I remembered messaging Sierra and being like, listen, I'm usually over apple fragrances after the fall. I'm not somebody who typically gravitates towards them, like I said, outside of the fall season. And I said, is this screaming too much fall? And she said, no. She said, this is definitely more of like what she said, this is more like woodsy apple. And she was correct in that. Now, this fragrance, you guys, this is a really hard fragrance for me to describe other than I love it. I love this fragrance. My nose does detect apple, and I do get a little bit of like a tree note in there, but it's not overtly screaming Christmas tree to me. There is this is it's really hard for me to explain, you guys. I would say that to a lot of people this might lean, I don't want to say slightly masculine because it's not. It's kind of like there's a spice to it. That would be, from the clove and the cinnamon in the middle there. But the woody elements of like birch and fir needle are just beautiful. I also think that the orange note in here, while it is nothing screaming like juicy orange in here, I do think that it is blending beautifully to add some sweetness to that baked apple. But again, my nose does detect apple in this, but this is not your fall apple. This is not your apple gourmands. This is apple kind of like how apple is used in, say, their like always autumn fragrance or like leaves. I think I can't remember what Caramel Sunday's version of like leaves is. But anyways, that's more so apple that I'm smelling here. This is not like overly gourmand apple, but it's present and it's known and it blends beautifully with the cinnamon and the clove, the cedar wood, the birch. There's a woodsiness to this, but again, it's not overtly cologne like or overly masculine. The base note of like a musk, yes, the musk does give a slight perfuminess to this, but there's also tonka bean and vanilla in there. And again, not a gourmand vanilla. I feel like the vanilla and the tonka just kind of like round out the fragrance. This is a very well balanced candle, much like I was saying that the what was the one that I just reviewed the other day? Holiday Sweets. That's a very well balanced gourmand fragrance. This is a very well balanced. I would categorize this as more of like an outdoorsy type of fragrance. Again, if you kind of want, the way that I would look at this is like a this is a winter cousin to their Always Autumn fragrance. This one just, it has a little bit more winteriness going on to it. It's not cold, fresh air. It's the woodsy elements that are in here and those spice notes that just make me think of a nice winter's evening. There's nothing smoky or hearth like about this. And yet, I find this to be a very cozy and comforting scent. Last year, they had a fragrance. I want to say it was called like Cozy Cabin that I really liked burning this winter woods with. But I will tell you guys, I have been burning this in my home the last couple of nights. I broke it out again because I was like, okay, I know I need to review this one for the upcoming restock. And I've been burning it alongside Sniff's Old St. Wick. This one actually pairs really nicely with like Frosted Dawn. So if you have Caramel Sundays Home for Christmas, Frosted Dawn from Kringle and Home for Christmas from Caramel Sundays smell very, very similar to Bath and Body Works Winter. I feel like this fragrance like complements that one really nicely. This one again is more like, it has more of like an apple note to it. I guess maybe in some ways, now that I'm thinking about it, doing this review, I feel like this would be like if winter had an apple note instead of the orange or like the citrus in the background. This one, it's hard to really fully describe other than this is a beautiful fragrance. Little bit of a spoiler alert, you guys. This candle is on my wish list to purchase at the December restock, which is happening on Sunday, December 28th. So it will be after Christmas at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do want to get this in the 4-wick. I might want to get 2 of them, you guys, because this is a fragrance that I am thoroughly enjoying and finding it to be quite versatile. Again, it's definitely more of an evening burn for me. There's something about it that I just particularly enjoy in the evenings, out in the open concept, as well as in my bedroom. Now let's go ahead and talk about the performance. So you can see I have probably about between a quarter and a third of the wax left in this vessel. Again, half of this, actually more than half of this, I burned last year when I had this candle. Strength and throw on this one, you guys. This, I would say, vacillates between like I'm going to settle on like a 7 for this one in terms of strength and throw. This fragrance is definitely noticeable and it makes itself well known. And I'm going to say that the 7 in terms of a strength and throw for this 2-wick is probably perfect, because if this were to be a super, super, super strong candle, I could see it possibly being cloying. I could see that apple note possibly for some people maybe being too much after a couple of hours if this were any stronger. I think that the strength and throw of this candle is perfect the way that it is. Like I said, I I want to repurchase this, and I want to repurchase it in the 4-wick vessel. I am also contemplating purchasing this in the 2-wick to send to my sister in California. I did talk about her in my what was it, the holiday sweets review. If you missed that one, I have a little funny story, not really funny story, but just kind of some information, because my sister is one of those crunchy ladies who is very concerned about the ingredients in a lot of in a lot of things that she brings into her home. Home fragrance would be one of them. So anyways, she gave me some really positive feedback about Caramel Sundays. I did end up sending her winter flannel in the last restock. So you can go back and watch that review if you want more information. But I am actually thinking about buying this one in the 2-wick to send to her during the December restock if it's still available, after I place my order, because I think that she will really, really enjoy this. So overall, you guys, highly recommend this candle. I hope that doesn't turn around and bite me in the booty when it comes to restock day, because I really want to get my hands on more of this. This is just such a beautiful winter fragrance. Definitely one that I want to have in my collection year in and year out. I find this is a beautiful fragrance right now to burn during the holidays, but I actually find this to be a, it's good for the winter, I think, overall. And I think even if you get it You could probably start burning this in like November if you wanted to as well. Personally, for me, I like it more so after Christmas. But yeah, just a beautiful fragrance. And I'm finding it to be quite versatile if you are somebody who likes more kind of outdoorsy types of fragrances, but you don't want anything that's overtly piney or whatnot. Um, this is just Caramel Sundays does a really good job, even on their outdoorsy fragrances. I know that their specialty is the gourmands, but they do a pretty good job on a lot of these outdoorsy types of scents as well. So overall, you guys, 2 thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have burned this fragrance, what your experience has been with it. Do you recommend it as well? Is this on your wish list? Like I said, I should have my Caramel Sundays restock video up for you guys pretty soon. Um, and I'm excited for, as always, I'm excited. My wallet is not, particularly after Christmas, but such is life of a candle addict. So, anyways, you guys, please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Consider subscribing if you are new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.